Hello. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to remap resources and roles in an XCR using P6-Scrubber. P6-Scrubber is a tool built by Emerald Associates that can modify and validate an XCR file from an outside source prior to importing it into your production database. Let's take a look at P6-Scrubber and how this is done. I'm going to go into my resource module here, and I'm going to look at remapping. Now I can see that I need to enable this in order for P6-Scrubber to know that I would like to run this piece when I use this definition. Now I can add information or a definition manually by simply typing in and defining what I want to handle within a definition, or an easier way is to actually look at the file that you're going to work with. So I'm going to import that file into P6-Scrubber. I'm going to go out and I'm going to select it, and I'm going to choose to import it. Now what P6-Scrubber is going to do is take all the information that's out there in that XCR, and it's going to bring it in to P6-Scrubber. Now what we're going to work with today is just the resources. So I can see that I have a number of resources that are in my XCR and that are in use. But there are only 3 that I am actually concerned about. And these are the civil engineering ones down here at the bottom. Now in my database, I don't have 3 separate ones. I have one just called civil engineering. So I'm going to rename that ENG-CI, and I'm going to apply that to each one of these and have them remapped to that resource that is in my database. I'm also going to make sure that my name also matches. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to analyze my roles. So when I go and look at my roles, I'm going to go ahead and enable this. I can see that I have some EAI roles that are in here. Well, I don't have EAI in my particular database. What mine is SCR. So I'm going to replace all of my EAIs with SCR so that it matches what I have in my production database. So I can simply copy those over. And I've defined all of the remappings that I want to do for my roles and resources. Now, in order to use this, I need to save this as a definition. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to do a save definition, and I'm going to say I want to save this as, and I'm going to give it a name. Now I could add some notes if I wanted to. And I have a choice of 3 different areas that I can save this particular definition to. I can keep it as a personal definition, I could share it to a team, or I can make it global. I'm going to keep it personal and I'm going to save it. Now I do get a note that I have saved successfully, and I do have my new definition that is applied here. So I'm ready to scrub the file. I'm going to go down and scrub files, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to get the file that I would like to scrub, and I'm going to process it. Now P6-Scrubber is only going to process what I told it I wanted to process. So we're only going to see results for the resources and roles. I'm going to go in and now I can look at the report to see what kind of changes were done to my file. So if I go and review the report, you can see I've got some general information up here at the top, some summary items, and then I can scroll down to where I actually can see my resource remapping, and I can see what was defined in my definition in these gray tables, and then what was actually done with my file in the green table. I can easily see what was changed. So I can see my all of those civil engineering ones were remapped to my new one, or to my existing one in my database. And I can also see that my roles were also remapped to include that SCR instead of the EAI. Now, I'm satisfied with this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download my results. Once my results are downloaded, I can see that I have two files that were produced. I have my scrubbed XCR, as well as the report that we just took a look at. So I can share this report to maybe my contractor that I am working with their XCR and give them some feedback based on that. And I'm also ready to import my XCR. So if I click on over to P6, I've already imported that scrubbed XCR. So I can see here that I have some indicators on my resources and roles telling me that something was changed in those areas. I also have down here in my notebooks where I have that report that was also imported in. So I am going to have that information there for me to refer back to if I need to. Now, I have both the original and the scrubbed file in here. Now, I wouldn't normally do that, but for the sake of comparison, I wanted to go into my activities so that we could see how these resources and roles were actually taken care of with P6-Scrubber. So the top one is my main, or my original. We can see that I have the engineering, two separate engineering resources that were actually combined into one. As well as in my roles, I have my EAI that is now in my new file, or in my scrubbed file, now is SCR. So very easy to remap resources and roles from an XCR coming in from another entity into your database. Thank you for joining me, and be sure to watch some of our other great videos.